Hello, welcome to Cooking with Charlie. Today I'm making mushroom soup. I have the butter in the pan here melting already. Add a little bit of oil in there with it. I have two yellow onions here, the small onions, so I cut up two of them. I have the white mushrooms here that you get at the store, and I also have some portobellos here that I'm going to cut up a little smaller. Slide the mushrooms into the pan. Last time I made some banana bread. In the last video you'll see I made banana bread but forgot to add the bananas. So if you want a good laugh, you can go to that video and watch that if you want. Add the onions. Cut up the onions ahead of time. Take a little time. I bought some salt and pepper grinders I'm going to try out today. They're battery operated. They have electric ones that person I know downstairs has. Well, Walmart had there in the stores these battery operated ones. It takes 4 AA batteries. You open it up, the batteries are in here. If you turn this, let's see, there's a spot here to put your salt, pepper, or whatever seasonings you want to grind into it. But I found these at Walmart, if you're interested. I don't remember the name of them. I got rid of the box. If I can find them online, I'll try to put the name of these in the description. I'm not going by any certain type of recipe, but I will put the ingredients I'm using in the description. You can add as little or much ingredients as you want. Yes, you might have to. You'll have to adjust the recipe. I'm not cutting them up real small. I like to stuff in bigger pieces. The canned mushroom soup you get at the store, the mushrooms are so small you don't even know that there's mushrooms in it. Same with the onions. You can cut them up as big or as fine as you want. I like bigger pieces. So that's the way I'm doing it. I am going to be adding garlic, but you don't want to add that in right away. You want to wait till this cooks down a little bit, and then add the garlic. Let the garlic cook a little bit, then you add your broth and stuff in. But if you put the garlic in now, it'll burn, and I don't like burnt garlic. Me and my brother used to put garlic in popcorn all the time and cook it on the stove and stuff, and it would burn and it stunk up the whole house. We'd always get yelled at. So You don't want to put the garlic in there too early. I'm not adding it, but I did see a recipe with the add dill to it. But I'm not doing that today. A lot of these recipes, I'll go online or I have cookbooks and things. I look at quite a few different recipes for that. And because different recipes on there for the same thing, like the mushroom soup, I have one in my recipes that I use that calls for powdered milk. I'm not going to use powdered milk. Most recipes call for heavy cream, and that's what I'm going to be using today. Let's add some salt and pepper into it. There's a button here on top. Now with this one, you have to press it just in the right in the center. If not, it won't grind right. It'll shut off on you. That, and there is a thing on here so you won't over season it. I think the electric one will be a little bit better. So that's just what I found with these, but these are mainly made like salt dish and stuff when you get done and you press it and that it kicks off like that so you don't over season your what you're adding it to. As you see with the peppercorns, it works a whole lot better. Of course, the handheld salt shaker, I have one somewhere. The handheld seed grinders I found, you turn it just a little bit and you gotta back off. Turn it just a little bit and it won't turn no more. You'll bust it if you try to keep turning it. And I broke a few of them, so I said it grinds longer if you hold it just right. I think the electric one like she showed me downstairs, I think that would work better than this one. If you go online and find the electric one that you charge up, it costs about the same as this one. It comes 2 per package. But I didn't want to order it online. I prefer to buy stuff in the store than on the internet. I got my card stolen a couple months back, ordering something online. So you really got to watch ordering stuff online. You got to make sure that the website you're ordering it from is a good website. You gotta let this cook down a little bit. So this part of the video will be a little boring. I have some thyme here. Fresh thyme will work out a lot better, but all I have is dried. So I'm going to use some of that. All Walmart had was this 16-ounce cream here. So I'm going to go to the store today or tomorrow and buy some more mushrooms, make another batch of this, because I love homemade mushroom soup. So there's 16 ounces, so there's 2 cups here, so there's enough for another batch. So why not? I'm not going to use it for anything else, so I'll use it for another batch of mushroom soup. I have some dried parsley here. If you use fresh parsley, you want to add it in when you're done. But this dried, you want to add it in during cooking because it has to rehydrate. It takes time to get the seasoning and flavor and stuff in. At least that's what Google says. And none of the recipes I've seen call for it. But I'm going to also add a little bit of paprika. I have my flour here, because once this cooks down, you got to make a roux. Kind of, if you are familiar with making homemade gravy, it kind of works the same way. You add the flour to it to thicken it up. You cook it down good, and once you get the flour cooked, and then you use your broth, which I'm using chicken broth. I just bought the Great Value stuff from Walmart. Some recipes call for beef broth, some call for vegetable broth. This is just what I'm using. I'm going to add the whole box here, 4 cups of broth. Some boxes hold 4 cups, some hold 6. This 32 ounce, so it's 4 cups. Now since the water and stuff is coming out of here, I'll leave the lid off just so the water will evaporate better. So this is going to have to cook down a little bit. Like I said, I did add some butter. No certain amount. I didn't measure it. I just added some. And I added a little bit of vegetable oil. I don't edit my videos, so if you don't want to watch this cook down, you can skip some time until I start adding the flour to it. Normally you add a couple spoons of flour, but the way I'm making it, I don't go by no certain recipe. If there's a little more liquid to it, you're going to have to add a little more flour to get it thickened up to make your roux. And I do have another box of broth just in case I add a little too much flour. I can add more broth if I need it. And I added 16 ounces of mushrooms plus 8 ounces the white mushrooms, and I used 8 ounces of the portobellos. So most recipes call for 16 ounces of mushrooms. So I added a little more mushrooms than usual. I love mushrooms. You can cut them up as fine or keep them as big as whatever you prefer. Add a little more salt and pepper. I'm almost out of thyme. I gotta buy some more. I'm not adding no certain amount. I'm not measuring it. I'm just adding a little bit. Add some Spanish paprika. Same way, I'm not adding any certain amount. I'll add the parsley in once I add the chicken broth in there. You don't want to add it in too soon, but you do want to add it in while it's cooking, considering it's dry. And this if you wash the mushrooms, I'll show you in a minute, you don't want to put them in, you don't want to soak them in water. They're like a sponge. You want to use a strainer or something, colander or whatever it's called. You want to use something like this, and you just want to rinse them off if you're going to wash off the mushrooms, because they'll soak up water like a sponge, and you don't want them to soak up all that water. And they have quite a bit of water in them already as well that comes out during cooking, so you don't want all that water added to it. I forgot to get my garlic out of the fridge. I'm using minced garlic. You can use fresh garlic or whatever you want. I use minced. It says on here, here it is. 1 teaspoon equals about 1 clove of garlic. Now it says online, I googled it, and the thing I read online yesterday said 1/2 teaspoon equals of minced garlic. Or if it's chopped, it's 1 teaspoon, so I'm not for sure how much you're actually supposed to add. The recipes normally call for 2 cloves. I seen one that, now if you really love garlic, I seen one recipe last night that called for 4 cloves. So if you really like garlic, but I'm not adding that much, I'm only adding 1 clove or so. I'm not adding much. You can add as little as much as you want. Like I said, I'm not going by any certain recipe. This is about ready. Just letting it cook down just a little more, because a lot of water and stuff gets released when you're cooking the mushrooms. The mushrooms look like they're almost all cooked. The onions are cooked. I am sometime this week going to make a green bean casserole. So if you're interested in that, you can watch that when I release the video. And sometime this weekend or next week, I'm going to make a sloppy joes. I have a recipe for it. It calls for 3 pounds of hamburger. You make it in the crock pot. So I am going to be making that as well. You can look forward to watching that. I will probably be ending this video once I add the heavy cream in there, because then it'll be almost done. You just need to cook in the heavy cream a little bit. And but once you add the heavy cream, the soup is pretty much done. So I'll be adding the video after I add that in. I'm ending it. But it'll be a little bit. You gotta add the flour in, then you gotta cook the flour. You don't want raw flour. I'm adding about that much. About a clove, 2 cloves, so in between there, 1 to 2 cloves of garlic. I don't want too much. You can add the garlic or you can leave it out, whatever. Some recipes call for it, some don't. guess it just depends on what you prefer. Mix this in, let the garlic cook. Cook in the flavor of garlic a little bit here. I'm about ready to add the flour. This is a whole lot better than anything you'll get out of a can. And I did buy some white flour this time instead of the wheat flour I used the other day. The only reason I used the wheat flour with the bread that I made is that's all I had in the pantry at the time. I didn't feel like going to the store. The garlic will finish cooking in with it when you add the flour. And there's a little more liquid in there than maybe if you're using a regular recipe. Because I used more mushrooms and stuff than usual, and I didn't add no certain amount of butter, I just added some. So I'm going to need a little more flour. I'm going to add 3 big spoons there, that should be enough. This is making a roux like you would make if you make gravy. Oh yeah, that thickened up nicely. Just in case, I don't think I'll need any more. I'll save the spoon there. You don't want to add this whole box at a time. Just a little. Just add so much at a time. You don't want to add it all at once. At least I never do. Most recipes call for not adding it all at once. But I don't really know if it matters or not. You don't want to add it in right away though. You don't want raw flour. It won't taste right. You gotta keep stirring this. Now it'll, at least with my pan, I don't have very good pans in these new ones. It'll stick here to the bottom of the pan. It don't take long to cook the flour in. You can let it cook as long and little as you want. Like I said, you just don't want the raw flour. Some people cook it so the flour's real dark. Depends on what type of flavor and stuff you're looking for. You just gotta experiment and figure out what tastes better for you. I will leave the ingredients in the description, but like I said, I can't leave no certain recipe because I don't go by one. Because if you're looking just to make a small batch, let's say for one person, you would add just a few mushrooms and just a little bit of onion. Or if you're making a batch for more people, or it lasts a couple days, you'd make a bigger batch like this. So you can make just a small bowl of mushroom soup if you want. You just make it like this with less ingredients. So, like I said, I really can't give no certain recipe because, like I said, I don't go by it. Spread down the bottom of the pan for the flour and stuff that's on the bottom. You want all that mixed in good with the soup. Now if you want it a little thicker, you don't add as much broth. You can make it any way you want. I might make something like this for my green bean casserole. And if I do, I'll have a little more than this, but I would have it like this. I wouldn't make a big soup because it would be mixed in with the green beans. So I might make that later on in the week. And I'll make the mushrooms ahead of time since you're already seeing this. I can refer you back to this recipe. But since I'm making soup, I want to add the whole box of broth. I never tried green bean casserole with fresh mushroom soup like this. Probably be pretty good. I never had it. I'm not a chef or anything. I'm just trying to cook healthier, trying to get my weight down. And I figured this is a good way of doing it. I can never stick with it. I always go back to making sandwiches and things. And I'm used to putting out YouTube videos for my gaming channel and the tractor shows and stuff that I go to. And I put videos out on my other channel for that. So I'm used to being able to put out videos, so if I have to put out videos, I know, well, I have to cook healthier to make these recipes for the channel. It's been cooking good for a few minutes. I can shut the stove off. The camera shut off on me, so I'll let it continue cooking for a couple more minutes. You only missed 2-3 minutes. Stir in the cream. It's real hot, it's boiling good, so I don't need the stove on any longer. It's seasoned and everything up already. I'll just let this sit here a few minutes. So all the flavors cook together good. sit here a few minutes. And I can't tip it too much, but you can see it. There's our mushroom soup. That'll be it for this video. There will be, I have two other channels like I mentioned earlier. Minneapolis Maling Fan and Minneapolis Maling Gaming. Those two links will be in the description. I also have a link in the description for my, well, I'm going to forget the name of it, Discord. If you're on Discord, I have a link in the description for that as well. It's not set up for the cooking channel yet here, but I'll be working on that this week. I also have a link in the description for my PayPal if you're interested in donating. No one ever has. I don't expect anybody to donate, but if anybody wants to, I do have that option in the description as well. The ingredients that I used will be in the description also, but no certain recipe, like I mentioned during the video, will be in the description, because I don't go by any certain recipe. It just depends on how you like it, how many mushrooms you want to put in it, how big a batch you want to cook. It's just, this is the way I make it. So, but the ingredients will be in the description if you want to see them. That'll do it for this video. Thanks for watching. Like I said, the next video most likely will be green bean casserole made with the mushrooms like we made it here. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. Bye for now.